Well, the first thing we'll have to do is look at the scene of the murder. Are you up for this too, sir?
Certainly, I suppose I haven't anything more pressing.
All right. Same pay and everything else if you work on any of my cases with me. Well, before we leave, are you hungry? Have you eaten?
I have not.
All right, then they provide a good meal here. If you can order whatever you want. Have you eaten too, ma'am? That's half a day's ride away. I bet you charge straight into town without eating a bit, even after such a tragedy has occurred.
Yes, and in fact, I haven't eaten anything. I did order a drink and go straight to the window to watch the mansion.
I see. I see. So that's a good idea too. I hadn't thought about that. We could put them under observation now, can't we?
Well,
all right.
I had actually planned on just topping over the gate in the night and killing the bastard.
No, I can see why. But if you know what's going on around the premises there, it might be more advantageous and give you a better opening wherewith to do such more lawfully, shall we say? Or either that, not get caught. Who would I have do this? You said Ian's at the docks right now?
He was there when I left. I could not tell you if he had stayed.
Okay, so Ian might be there. All right. He gets another boy, gives him a pence, tells Ian he needs someone to watch this place. He'll furnish the drinks as long as he doesn't get too drunk.
That actually costs money to do that. Hold on.
It does?
Hold on.
Money?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Like
All
usually
this time I've been using this counterfeit money. Do we need money?
So PCs have enough wealth to get the little stuff done that they need to get through life. But sometimes you need a little more wealth to do different things.
I think there's probably like some sort of advantage you can get for that.
Wealth.
It's probably called wealth.
It is called wealth. Yes.
Something like that.
3 wealth points hires a Strength 5 Brute Squad first scene. Wealth 1 buys a high quality item. In a risk that can be influenced by money, you can spend wealth to give bribes. So yeah, to have someone stake out this place would cost you 1 wealth point.
No, I don't have a wealth point.
And you don't have a wealth point.
You have 0?
You have 0 wealth.
Okay.
So you don't have money to have somebody stake this place out.
You know what? I wish I could have taken Foulweather Jack now, because I could have had a one-step story of gain enough wealth to get wealth of 1. So you can have 2 stories at once going.
All right.
Now I understand why that's an advantage. I really didn't see why it mattered. Now I get it.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. Let me see. What are my advantages? I really don't need Valiant Spirit.
How about your next story? You get Foulweather Jack from your next story. How's that sound?
That'll work, but then, I'll want wealth before then. And this is a 4-step story. All right. Maybe I should have started with a smaller story.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Can I just make that my background story and work towards it, and right now say try to accrue enough wealth to get to that, or I don't know.
Nope, you got your story. We're sticking with it. We're going forward.
All right, well, now I know, and knowing is half the battle.
That may be like a flaw in this game or a good part of this game. I don't know. Like, this game is so new and it's so different that...
Different and new. But then again, there might be opportunities to gain wealth through the course of the game, even without having a storyline based on it. So there is that.
But you do have favor with the Brotherhood of the Coast. That's what you're using, right?
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I'll go ahead and pay for his drinks and everything else because I can do that. And then, of course, I'd owe them a favor.
When you join a secret society, you gain favor. Favor represents faith in society, has in you, and the resources you can draw from. Resources could include bodyguards, rare items, pulling political strings, or simply cash. So you can use this, yeah. Secret societies have many resources at disposal. They are willing to aid friends and their agents in the following ways. So yeah, you can spend one of your 2 favor points to get somebody to stake this place out.
I'm going to go to the bartender and ask if he knows anything about the family of Declan Young.
Well, the Young family, they're not exactly noble people. But I do know of them. You can find Mrs. Young, down on 8th Street.
Would that be the wife of Declan or his daughter?
That's his wife and daughter. I believe they live together.
Is that
Together,
is
okay.
is that Young the elder or Young the young?
Well, I wouldn't know, would I? Very well. Thank you very much for that information, sir. And I will tip him again, because apparently that type of thing does not cost wealth. I will be a generous tipper as long as it doesn't cost anything.
Yes. I'll buy everybody drinks as long as it doesn't cost anything. Oh, you need food. That doesn't cost anything either. Here, have food. Like I said, the first order of business would probably be to go to this site where this murder occurred. We'll probably be able to meet Father Mulcahy over there. I'm sorry, Mulcahy came first thing in my mind. That's the father from MASH.
Mulcahy.
So maybe we should go to the site and survey the area and see if we can gather any evidence there that might get us some sort of search warrant into the house of your erstwhile companion. It's about a half a day's ride. Do we have horses, Corey?
You do not have horses. Horses cost one
One well.
You have to have one well for a horse.
I'm
I don't
sure
even remember if I can right now. I'm going to look it up.
Money might I be able to earn by performing? I mean, assuming there's someone playing music in here.
There's a rule for that, isn't there?
Oh my! And if she's going to do that, I can join in. We can both gain money.
Oh, I also have right of one. What a waste.
Yeah, I know. If you use your 3 perform skill to gain wealth, you gain 3 wealth points at the beginning of the session. So you do that between sessions, apparently, and you can use any skill to do it. Remember that you have to have the right opportunity. If your hero is on a ship for the next few months, he can't earn wealth using perform or warfare. He's sailing, but you can't earn wealth using sailing. In general, unspent wealth is lost between game sessions, although if a player is specifically trying to save for something expensive, she wants his or her own ship, for example, a GM might allow them to bank some of their wealth points. A good general rule is that a hero loses at least half of her total current wealth at the end of each game session.
So you can use your perform skill, definitely, to give yourself a point of wealth. And you go out there to do that so you can earn some horses.
Let us see this performance.
I would like to join her in performance. What sort of performance are you doing?
Well, I'm a pretty awesome dancer.
I can sing a bit.
You guys go to a place where you think you can bust for money, and you go do that kind of thing. Howard, what are you doing at this point in time?
Well, if they're going to be off performing, I guess I will go to the Young household and see what's going on there.
You go to, basically it's stacked apartments kind of thing next to each other. And you go to that area town, you ask around, you find the Young household. An air of depression, of melancholy.
Malaise?
Yeah, a malaise, a melancholy is over the area.
I will note that the place is dreary and continue on.
You knock on the door, you open up, and a little lady opens it up. She says, hello, may I help you?
Mademoiselle, my name is Luke. I knew your husband, Declan.
Declan?
She looks like she would be the wife, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You knew my husband. They sent a letter. They told me that he was imprisoned.
He has passed on. I regret to inform you that they have not sent a letter yet about that.
She gasps.
His final thoughts were of you and of his daughter, and he asked me to find you and to see if there was anything that you or your daughter needed, and to make sure that you were okay.
I wish Declan was here right now.
Alas, that is not something that I can do.
We
check my spell book. Well, I could, but I shouldn't. There's a big no right here. Don't do that. So I highlighted it.
You are not part of any of our problems, Mr.
Your husband was a good man. and I owe him a debt, and the debt I intend to repay is by helping you. So if you would just tell me if you are well and if your daughter Mary is well.
Please come inside, Mr. What was your name?
Luke.
Just Luke?
Luke.
Very well, Mr. Luke. Please come inside. Just follow me. And she will take you into basically from the foyer of this little place into more of a living room kind of place, but living rooms weren't used as living rooms back then.
Well, they didn't have TVs and such.
No, it's a very different kind of place, and there's a...
Is it like a sitting area?
Yeah, no.
Well, it's usually a sitting room, one would think.
The kind of foyer was kind of the sitting area, but this is more of a little room, and there's a long, like, cot laid out, and there is a beautiful young woman who is laying there, unconscious, very still.
Is this Marie? Is she ill?
Hi, this is Marie.
I see. What ails her?
You must understand, Mr. Luke, that Avalon is a very interesting, it's a very magical place. There are many things here you probably don't understand, and you may think me crazy for saying such things. But here in Avalon, there are two worlds. There are the world of men, and there are the world of the fairies.
You believe a fairy has done this to her?
No, in fact, a man has done this to her. A man that wishes to tie himself to the fairies in a much more meaningful way. For you see, I trace my lineage back to the fairies.
Is there a way to help her to undo whatever this man has done?
She will walk up to her daughter and she'll kind of pull her collar down, and there is a large, looks like bronze or brass, intricate little collar around her neck with a white glowing stone in the center of it.
Perhaps this must be removed?
I don't know exactly what it is. It is not of the Fae. This might be one of those Sirenth artifacts I've heard of. There is a man that was courting Mary, and when she turned him down, he used this on her. I think he is after our Fae blood. His name is Malcolm Tilwith Tegg, and he's a very powerful man here.
I believe I've heard that name before. I will see to this immediately.
I believe he has a companion artifact that looks like this jewel, and it would probably undo this sleeping curse that has befallen my daughter. If you could retrieve that jewel and bring it back, I'm sure that she will be cured.
Then the jewel shall be yours.
You can't have the sake and shrimp. That requires a raise.
I will stick with my small portion of steak and wine, because the large steak is just out of the question.
Yes. The 40
so you want the Texas size, not the Alaska size.
Oh, damn!
The bone you get from IHOP. That's the steak you get for free.
I'm sorry, the cows live here, man. You can slap a Band-Aid on your steak and they come back to life.
There's a steakhouse up here that has like the small steak they call Texas size and the large one they call Alaska size.
Yes, so much of a burn, yeah.
Is the large one also frozen?
No, it's not.
Well, then that doesn't sound authentic at all.
Well, actually, that's what I was thinking about what Alaska steak is that they bury the steak in the permafrost until it gets nice and ripe, and then they bring it back up and they eat that.
Oh yeah, he was saying.
I don't remember what it's called, but there's this one thing where they put seal meat inside of a seagull, I think, and then they like bury it and let that ferment.
Yeah.
And basically like suck the fermented stuff out of the seagull butthole.
That's